Good afternoon. I will be, I have a couple of starting points that I want to share. One is that, when we are talking about sustainability, one of the things that we need to have, question sustainability for whom? Is it human-centric sustainability? Obviously, that is what we are looking for. And human-centric sustainability means that and that's why we are talking about this climate change and all this decarbonization and all those things and minimizing waste and pollution and other things. But one thing that we are not addressing is the effect on human. So human health was the only word used by Secretary Saab in the morning session, and also by Madam from UNEP. Yeah. So these are the two. So human health has to be addressed, and I know that we are saying it in different ways, but not really openly mentioning it. And human health has to be the center of sustainability when it's specifically addressing the chemical segment. The second thing is that going beyond regulation. Which regulation we are talking about? Is it the regulation that is in other country where we are exporting, or is it in the regulation that we are dealing here locally? And then if we are talking about regulation in that way, that it is the local regulation that we want to comply with, what is the product stewardship of a company rather than of a position? Yeah, where the regulation is not sufficiently developed, matured, it is not dealing with the key issues. The regulation last was developed in 1989, probably. Yeah, I don't know. But it has been quite old. Yeah, several regulations. Yeah. So I think what we did was that I have just want to share that there is this document in your bags. This is a white paper on why we should have chemical regulation, and it has the trade angle to it, human health angle to it, environmental angle to it, and at the same time try to address to not do the same extensive job that was done by Europe, which was a very extensive regulation, but I think that was necessary for Europe because they were the first to do it. The data on chemical was not available, information on chemicals were not available. Only 4,000 to 5,000 chemicals that were actually supposed to have full chemical data. And now when we are here now, when we have this information from all those countries, we don't need to redo the entire extensive way of doing things. So the idea is that we should at least have some form of information system with the authorities from whom we expect them to make sure that we have a good chemical sector, a competitive chemical sector. And before I, start with the first presentation today, I want to also say that, we have a lot of good examples today and a lot of fantastic examples, and these are all leaders in their own sector. But they are only top notch from the top of the pyramid. Most of the sector is not doing that. So with these type of changes, are we able to achieve the things that at the bottom? The third scope we mentioned. Third scope, when it comes to European reach, we are the third scope. We comply with European reach because we are the downstream user, we are the supplier to that supply chain. So the regulation there is affecting us and we are actually complying with it. But we are not doing the same thing here. So our compliance is actually benefiting somebody else, somewhere else, the human health of those citizens. What happens to our own citizens here? So that's a few thoughts, but I think if you go through this document, it gives you much more rational why we should have a particular, some sort of management of chemicals and where we address the human health and environment issues. And definitely then we can go beyond and see, but some companies have already done the compliance, they have already done a very fantastic job, and we want to see what we can learn from them and see whether we can percolate that to even the downstream user, the supply chain. Yeah.